So now the topic is films and print media. I think this is the most interesting topic for the present youth. So what about films and what about the print media? So Lata was also one of the interesting girl, a small girl like you, who went for summer holidays to her grandparents' house. So when she went for the grandparents' house, her grandparents' house grandfather name is Rangaya, who started to share. Generally we have that attitude of children asking the grandparents to explain about what happened during this period, what happened during that period, and grandparents also patiently explain everything to them. So in this conversation, she have learned many astonishing facts and many interesting things what she has never dreamed of. She learned that there were no movies, no cinema theaters at that point of time, and people used to perform the harikadas, burrakadas, tolu bommalatlu, and all these things were the only sources of entertainments during the olden days. And she also learned many other new things. So the films was one of the interesting concept which was dragged between their conversation and went on for a very long and useful information for her. Now let us see here. The films were first started. The first film show was made by Lumiri brothers in the Watson Hotel in Mumbai. The date on 7th of July 1886. It was the first show of movies performed in a hotel because they don't have cinema theaters at that point of time, and it was a challenging task during that period. It was perfectly executed. From then the real journey of the movie started. Later on we have seen many of the plays which are written by George Bernard Shaw and Shakespeare, which were very famous, later on turned into movies, and they attracted hundreds of people. As the time passed on, the earlier people used to play theatre arts. These theatre arts start to get ended because the craze for theatre arts was going to be replaced by the movies. We have many theatre shows, people performing in Telugu, it is called as Natakalu. These people, when they are performing this Natakalu, they were known for their art and their skill of performing the dialogues and everything. Vara Vikrayam, Satya Harishchandra, Kanya Sulkam, all these things were the famous Natakalu which were performed by the people of Andhra especially. And later on, when this place started to lose their value or importance and prominence, people started to get diverted towards the other interests, especially films started to enter into the people's life. Most of the theatre artists started to stand in line in front of the movie makers. So this has given a chance for many of the excellent theatre artists to perform on the large silver screen. Those people whom we can remember well is Golapudi Marti Rao from our Telugu industry and Nadiruddin Shah, who was present even today also, who belongs to theatre arts, was excellently fantastic. These people have played their roles very well. Now moving on to the movies, how was the movie journey we have seen? Again, the movies are again two types. The movies which were involved in words, where the people will talk, and the movies without talk. The first movies were movies without talking. The first non-talkative movie known as Mukhi movie was Bhishma Pratigna, and the talkative movie where the words are spelled by the actors, that is Bhakta Prahlada, produced by H.M. Reddy. It was released in 1931. At the same time, the movie in Hindi also was released, that is Alam Ara Adeshar Irani. Alam Ara Adeshar Irani was the first movie maker. He makes a movie called Alam Ara. This also was released in the year 1931. So now, Raghupati Venkaya was a man who was born and brought up in Bandar, which is presently known as Machilipatnam in the Krishna district of Andhra region, where he moved on to Chennai and he settled there, and he learned, he is basically a still photographer who takes the pictures extraordinarily, who makes the people to look very beautifully, and he produced films, he directed the films, and he built a cinema studio in Madras and he settled there itself. His cinema studio name is Gayatri. And as the journey passed on from 1931 to 1938, when the movies were addressing and progressing on, the national movements also, the movies and national movements went correlatedly. In order to bring awareness for the people on the social, anti-social elements, especially towards untouchability, The movie which played its major influence was The Malapilla, which was in 1938, released in 1938. In this story of Malapilla, the man of rich family, especially to the Brahmin family, falls in love with a girl of a lower caste who are untouchables, and the father does not accept their liking and he does not agree for the marriage, but the same girl saves the mother-in-law when she falls into the fire. Then he understands that human beings are important, not the rules and customs. Then he agrees for their marriage and he blesses their marriages. And then we have one more movie called Raitu Bidda, where he was brought up by zamindars, and his own brother kidnaps his son and tries to blackmail him and torture him for the properties, where he learned that human beings have to be treated equally, not in such a way that they are being feeling like they are superior and the others are inferior. So then he comes up to the Gandhian ideology and gives everything for the tenants freely. That is called the Raitu Bidda, which was released in 1939. One more interesting fact was a movie which was made on Mahatma Gandhiji. The actor who played the role of Mahatma Gandhiji was Richard Attenborough. In 1982, the movie was released of Gandhiji, which was an international movie which was made in English. Later it was dubbed into Hindi and then into the Telugu and the other regional languages. Which we have to feel very great that Mahatma Gandhi's movie was seen in the entire world by 1980s itself. And we also have the awakening of people even in the tribal regions also. The tribal movies are, first one is Alluri Sita Ramaraju and the Komaram Bhim. Alluri Sita Ramaraju was a movie which was made, by that time it was a fight between Alluri Sita Ramaraju, whose the atrocities of the forest acts which were made by the Britishers, he started to raise voice against them, agitate against them, and finally he was killed by the British officials.